What is up, podcast? Welcome back to the Allied Arts, where we talk about how to make the world come alive with art. This is still a special COVID-19 series episode, so for now, we're going to be talking about how to help the world survive with art. So for this particular episode, we'll be talking about the initiatives of artists supporting other artists in the form of fundraisers and donation drives. So, before I go into the episode, I just want to share, I'm re-recording this episode because I initially recorded it in video format, but because I don't have any other tech with me aside from my phone, I was having problems with editing and getting the audio out of the video and like using it as a podcast. So I was just like, you know what, screw it. I will just re-record this entire episode. Which actually was beneficial because I found, in that time since I recorded the video and now, I discovered more initiatives of artists supporting artists. So I think that's great. At least I can share more and I can share more, if you're interested to donate and at the same time to help out other artists, this would be a good chance to listen to the initiatives available and see how you can help out. Alright, so I'm going to start first and foremost by sharing what happened because of COVID-19. So first was, of course, we are all on lockdown now and mass gatherings were prohibited, and that included live events. So for artists, especially those in the performing arts, live events are essentially our bread and butter, and mass gatherings as well. Like, the arts are all about bringing people together to connect and, form relationships and connection and, just bond over art and learn hear new stories and things like that. But, the lockdown happened, and so a lot of artists were affected by this. Also because a lot of artists are freelancers for these kinds of events, which, made it difficult. So, how did artists respond to this? So, in the previous episodes, I already talked about how artists adapted using technology and how artists are taking care of health and helping out to take care of people's health rather through their art. And now we're going to be talking about how artists respond in the form of fundraisers and donation drives for, within their industries as well as other communities that are in need of help. So as with any industry, there are people who are fortunate enough to have a financial buffer, right? But there are also those who live paycheck to paycheck. And in the arts, usually these are the people behind the scenes. So you have your production designers, you have your production arts managers, you have lighting technicians, sound technicians, set contractor, a lot of many other things. Like, if you watch any movie and you look through the film credits, a lot of those people are freelancers or business owners. And thing is, now with this pandemic, even the business owners are affected because, everybody's pretty much in a standstill. So what artists have done is to come together to form movements and donation drives to help fellow artists and other communities in need. So they've been using their time, talent, and skills to do two things. Number one, to entertain those in lockdown. Number two, to raise funds to help those who are struggling in this lockdown. So we're gonna go through the different fundraisers that I found, but there are so many more fundraisers. I just didn't encounter them. Alright, so for the first one, we've got Open House Fundraiser. So Open House Fundraiser was geared to help displaced artists and cultural workers. This was a joint project by the Artists Welfare Project, Phil Stage, Spit, Third World Improv, Theater Actors Guild, and Ticket to Me. So what are those groups? Artists Welfare Project, or AWPI, is a non-stock, non-profit NGO serving the culture and arts sectors through social welfare, education, capacity building, and they help connect artists with doctors, lawyers, to help them with the medical, legal, and financial side of their career. Phil Stage, the second collaborator for this, is an alliance of 16 professional companies in the theatrical arts. So they seek to influence policies on artist-friendly laws, implementation of development plans, and they aim to get recognition of the performing arts as an integral force of Philippine culture, society, creative industry, and tourism. Now, Spit is Manila's premier improv theater group. Third World Improv is the first Philippine school dedicated to teaching improv theater. Theater Actors Guild is an association of theater actors in the Philippines to represent theater actors in public and private fora. Their goal is to protect and uphold the rights of theater actors. Next is Ticket to Me. Ticket to Me is an online ticketing platform for events. Prior to the lockdown, they had a lot of plays, musicals, and other workshops available. Up on their site that you could buy tickets from them. So it's an online ticketing platform, basically. So, Open House Fundraiser has concluded. They ran for about 2 months, and what they did was they put up workshops, shows, and online performances. I personally volunteered actually to help out with the team for this, but I was going through a lot of mental health struggles myself, so I backed out. But I was definitely very happy to have been able to help for a while. It was amazing because they got a lot of the big names in the industry to do performances. So for performances, some of them would do like live concerts, so just singing songs, since theater, there are musical theater actors as well. They would do workshops. So for example, they'd do workshops on like how to prepare for an audition, how do you, or they'd also do workshops about the different tasks behind the scenes. So like production workshops on stage management, and production management, just, everything, the whole world behind the stage, not just behind the curtains, but behind the actual stage. Because there's a lot that goes on there. Yeah, they also do shows, so they live streamed a few shows, so that people could, so that people could watch it and stream it for a couple of days. So that was cool. Yeah, they're the first that I mentioned because they were the biggest that I saw. You can check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Open House Fundraiser. So that's the first. Yeah. And for the second one, we have Para sa Sining, #Home Not Alone. So what was Home Not Alone? It's a movement for cultural workers, production crew, performing artists, and Para sa Sining collaborators. So, if you're not aware of them, Para sa Sining is a non-profit dedicated to creating a collaborative community using art as an interface for conversation, collaboration, and cultural exchange. They aim to be a catalyst for social change and action, and a solution to societal issues and problems. So, #Home Not Alone was a movement so that you can still be able to connect with each other even online, and you can actually join in through this movement simply by just sharing how you've been doing with the lockdown and using the #HomeNotAlone or #TaoTayo. You can also donate as well. They're accepting donations so that they can help out their production crew. So you can find them on Facebook and Instagram at Para sa Sining to stay updated with their updates and like how their fundraiser has been going. Prior to this lockdown, I was also part of the team for a project, but it got cancelled, sadly, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But yeah, that's yet another one of the many movements of artists. Alright, so third one is Jakob Seany, #virtualJakob. This one, I just found out about this recently. It's founded by Miss Sherry Hill and Rebelde. And what they do is they champion the healing powers of painting, music, film, and poetry. It's a donation drive for the benefit of Hopeline PH, Save Our Schools Network, Center for Marginalized Filipinos. And their previous drive was for the concerned artists of the Philippines. What do they do? I just realized I didn't mention what Para sa Sining has been doing. Para sa Sining has been doing like these Q&A sessions and also some workshops and opportunities to connect with other artists, just to see how they've been doing. So yeah. But now, going back to Jakob Seany, sorry about that. So going back to Jakob Seany, what they've been doing are also similar to Para sa Sining, except, they've been tapping people from the health industry because, that's their main focus on sharing how arts and health can actually connect and how it's relevant. So one of the most recent, one of the most recent online events that I saw was a Q&A with Dr. Gia Season. She's a mental health advocate. So that was pretty cool to see. Yeah. Alright. Oh, their Facebook page, you can check them out, just Jakob Seany, and it'll come up. Alright, so next one is the Lockdown Cinema Club. This one is an initiative by independent Filipino filmmakers to reach and help fellow indie filmmakers affected by COVID. So, what they do is introduce a collection of films as well as open Q&A sessions with directors. So they're on a watch all you want, give what you can basis for this drive. So far, they've released 5 volumes of films already. But donations are closed, but disbursements are still ongoing. And as far as last I saw, they still have some of their videos up, so you can check that out. Lockdown Cinema Club on Facebook. So far it's very interesting. We've been seeing how artists are helping artists in the fields of theater, in the fields of arts management, and there are also those in film, and there are also those using art as a way to help our health through this lockdown. For the next initiative that I found out about, this focuses on music, or these are musicians, helping musicians and other communities. So the next one is Bayanihan Musikahan. This is a campaign led by national artist for music, Ryan Cayabyab. What they do is they do fundraising for urban poor communities supported by Samahan ng Nagkakaisang Pamilyang Pangtawid, Likhaan, Caritas Manila. So what they do is their musicians do live concerts at scheduled times, and it's being streamed on the respective artists' social media. And then they pretty much accept donations, financial donations, and they distribute those donations in the form of mana packs. So that's for food supplies. Mana as in MANNA. So that's food supplies for those in need. And also, they have Ligtas COVID kits. So that's for medical and health supplies. You can check them out, Bayanihan Musikahan, if you'd like to find out more about this initiative. And alright, yeah. So far we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's already a lot, but there's still more. Next up is the Musikaramay online concert series. This is for the benefit of displaced musicians and roadies. So, compared to so far from those that I've mentioned, it's just been Musikaramay and Para sa Sining have been around even before COVID-19. So for Musikaramay, their cause is, to share busking as part of Filipino culture and busking for a cause. So they help street musicians and those in need. So if you're curious to understand what street musicians are, if you've ever taken the train on the MRT or the LRT and you've crossed that, the overpass where you switch the train lines along EDSA. If you've ever seen the blind people who are performing there, they sing there and they have the mics and they accept donations. They are what you call buskers. So buskers. Busking is basically just performing live outdoors and accepting donations. So it's not like a full-on concert or anything, but it's just a chance to share live music to the community and the general area. Another place where you can check out buskers actually is in BGC, but most likely right now there's not much. I don't think there would be buskers there, but with the BGC Arts Center initiatives and the Bonifacio Global City Foundation, if I'm not mistaken, they had that initiative where they'd welcome artists and they'd have artists perform in BGC and busk there. Yeah. But going back to Musikaramay, so what they do is they stream live performances as well, from different street musicians, from different performers, and they gather donations. Alright, so for the third initiative by musicians, so we have Musika Akbay. Music, it's a play on words of music and kaakbay. So if you have music and karamay for the previous one, this one is music and kaakbay. This one is an initiative by the UP College of Music Student Council, where they feature performing groups of the college for the benefit of students and staff of the college and the medical frontliners. So this initiative, though, I think just finished. They just did their finale performance a few days ago, but they're still doing disbursements. You can check them out, Musika Akbay. Just search Musika Akbay, or you can go to the page of the UP College of Music Student Council themselves. Yeah. Alright, and then we have, for visual arts, we actually have Arts for PH, or also Art for Med PH. So what is this? This is a platform through which visual artists can sell their works for a cause, and all proceeds go to non-profit groups working to equip frontliners. So basically, if you're a visual artist, you can sell your art there as well as create art for the frontliners, because it's something that they actually encourage. They've been encouraging their visual artists to create something that they can give to boost the morale of frontliners and just help them, just let them know that they're being supported by strangers even. So you can check them out. That's Arts for PH on Facebook. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 initiatives, but for sure there have been so much more initiatives out there that I just wasn't able to include. However, that's not the end of this episode. We actually have the fun stuff, which I like, because these are 2 initiatives that I saw, which I feel like would be very relevant and helpful to the entire arts industry. And these 2 are focused on helping artists with data. Isn't that amazing? So that artists can make data-driven decisions. I think that's cool. So, the first one is ilostmygig.ph. This was an initiative to collate data from freelance creatives, and they've been gathering the number of projects lost, number of people impacted, and the total income lost from this pandemic. It isn't limited to just performing arts and visual arts, though. It also includes like graphic designers, and marketing, just the whole creative industry in general, even advertising as well. But yeah, it's just very helpful to see all that data they've been posting. They've constantly been posting their updates from the results they got. And I feel like this would be helpful for artists, so that we can see the bigger picture of like what's been going on and what we can do to move forward as a whole. For the second initiative, we have Creative Aid PH. So this was actually, I think, the very first initiative that I saw as soon as the pandemic started. It's also a data gathering survey. And since then, the results have been made into collated data. And they've been making calls for NCCA to have a rapid relief response in helping freelance creatives. So, for these 2 initiatives, why is it something that I feel is so relevant? Because for this industry, and actually just not just this industry, but for a lot of industries, there really is a lack of being able to collate data and track data. And, I feel like if we have that data readily available, it would have been easier to be able to distribute, what's being called for now, which are rapid relief response packages. Because, without the correct data, it's so hard to just give out resources, like financial resources or economic, or, maybe food supplies. Because are they just going to give an arbitrary number? What if, that the freelance creative who lost their job is really struggling, is, the breadwinner and struggled to pay the bills? Like, yeah. Just basically, it's helpful to have data. It's helpful to have the numbers, to know your numbers when it comes to anything. So whether that's on a large scale like this, like collating data from so many different people, to like just your personal data, just to know your numbers, like how many projects did you lose, how much income did you lose, and what are things that you can do, how can you adapt, blah 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 blah. So that's on the data aspect. For the last initiative of artists, supporting artists, there's actually been the National Live Events Commission of the Philippines. So, I'm not aware if this was a commission even before the lockdown, but I only heard of it during this lockdown, because they actually did a DP blast, or you just click like use this frame. Thanks Facebook for that feature. That's pretty cool. It's a DP blast to raise awareness on a certain cause. So it applied to freelancers and business owners in the field. So whether they're like, lighting and sound technicians, or small business owners with the lights and sounds rental business, or a venue rental business, even for like dancers, choreographers, musicians, performers, artists of all kinds when it comes to the live events. So that was very helpful. And also, I found out that apparently this commission has been represented by Congressman Christopher De Venetia. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I just found out recently that he's a congressman, but I've heard of him from like other plays and other, in the theater world. I've just been seeing his name around because I follow theater people online. So yeah, I feel like that's really great to have a voice, being able to represent artists even in some way, even though he's just one person. I think that's a huge thing to be represented on like the national level and in the political level. And because he's an artist representing artists, and he's in politics. But that's probably an entirely different conversation that I have yet to, with a topic that I have yet to like understand more. But yeah, that's it. Basically, those are the different initiatives of how artists have been helping other artists as well as other communities. So there are so many more like other initiatives for sure, but just based on that, it's been, this lockdown's been tough, but seeing those initiatives have been really cool because it's amazing to see how artists are responding so quickly and how artists are being so generous and being able to share time, talent, and skills to help out as well as to entertain people and keep us from going insane from boredom. Right? So yeah, I think that's a really valuable way of artists helping out during these times. So yeah, that's it for this episode. And if you do know more, like other initiatives of artists supporting other artists, I'd love to like add them to this podcast. You can send me a message at AlliedArtsPH, Facebook or Instagram, or send me an email, alliedartsph@gmail.com, and I'll make sure to add them here. Bye! Yes, hello! I know I said bye, but I forgot to add another initiative that I discovered. So before I go, I just want to add this initiative. It's Artists for Commissions PH. Basically, this is an online Facebook group that aims to link visual artists with people looking to commission other artists for their art. I've personally found an artist through this group. The podcast art that I have is made by Louise Anog. She's at Louise, LOUISEANOG on Instagram. Her graded art is amazing. So yeah, I commissioned her to do some art. So hi Louise, if ever you're listening. Yeah. It was really cool. So basically, yeah, like it's been really cool. I keep saying really cool again. Sorry, but it's been really cool. A lot of visual artists have been sharing their work there, and it's so interesting to see like the many different styles that they have. Like others are they have a very anime type of art, others are very realist, others have abstract designs, there's just so much variety. So when somebody says they're an artist, they are their own unique person and they have their own different ways of like expressing themselves. So yeah, that's just another initiative on Facebook. Again, it's a Facebook group, Artists for Commissions PH. If you're looking to commission artists, or if you want to have a portrait done or something, maybe you can check that out and post there. Yeah, so this is me saying bye for real, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!